Welcome to another episode of Cesar's Modern Life. My name is Cesar Rodriguez, and so today you can see I'm not at home. I'm actually in the studio, and because we're in the studio, we have a special guest, Carlos. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, he's my. If you don't know who he is, that's weird because you should know.
Yeah, that's
pretty
so
much the
weird.
same thing. If you haven't listened to the Rodriguez show, Carlos is co-host, basically since. I don't know, October 2015. So we've been riding this train together.
Thereabout.
Riding this train together since October of 2015. It's been a few years. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the 5 years?
I feel good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel good. It's like, it's sick just having like your own show, what you could do creatively, working with a team who's equally creative or ambitious.
I mean, it didn't get to that. Oh, yeah. We've always been equally creative and ambitious. It hasn't always been smooth, obviously.
Yeah, true. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, but it's still fun.
Yeah. Do you feel that sometimes? Do you get to that point where you don't know if you can do it that week?
Sometimes I feel like, oh shit, like sometimes, like, but not like where it's like I can't do it.
Yeah. I always feel like that leading up to, like, I don't know if we can keep doing this. And then I do it. I'm like, oh, yeah. Like, this is what it's like.
Why was I tripping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's every week. That's what it is for me. I don't know. Yeah. So we've been doing the show for a while. And I feel like, we never really we always just focus on the show except for when we hang out of the show. But we don't really do that as often, especially now because of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
But so yeah, man, I feel like there's a lot of basic stuff that I don't know about you, like, and we do have conversations beyond the show when we're here, but it's not really like, hey, like what you do to get to know a person. So I thought we would have this today.
Okay.
So tell me about your family. How many, I know you have brothers and sisters. How many do you have?
I have 3 brothers and 1 sister.
Mm-hmm. And are they all younger than you?
They're all younger. It's me, then Aaron, then my younger brother Vincent, and then my sister Layla, and my youngest brother Dominic. Yeah, see, I always knew there was a younger brother than, well, you said 3 younger brothers, right? Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't
Aaron,
know.
Vincent, and then Dominic bros. And then Layla's my sister. She's older than Dominic.
Yeah, I didn't know there was 2 younger ones than Aaron, like 2 boys that were younger than Aaron. Yeah. I always just saw 1 boy. Yeah. So how was that? Where you grew up in Anaheim the whole time?
They're about like 15 years, 16 years. Yeah, in Anaheim.
16 years in Anaheim. Where before?
Santa Ana, Fullerton. I also lived in Riverside a couple years.
Why did your parents move around so much?
Well, we used to live with my grandma, and then my grandma moved to Riverside. She got a house, so we just moved out there. Yeah, and we still, like, our lives were out here though. Like, our lives were in Orange County. Like, we would commute, just like go to school out here, and then we would commute. And yeah, it was
pretty normal.
Yeah, and then my parents got their own condo in Fullerton, and then they got the house in Anaheim a couple of years after that.
Tight. And that's where you've been. That's Anaheim is what known for, mostly Disneyland, right?
Yeah, like literally we live in the epicenter right next to Disneyland, like the busiest street in Anaheim. I
remember when I drive by there, it's always tense because there's so many cars passing by and all this.
There's someone
not
more
in
as
your
like
house, but like
not
around.
Like tense, but like there's always like a crowd. Right now it's like a ghost town, which is nice. Yeah, it's great.
And then you went to Chico, right, for college?
Yeah, I went to Chico for a year.
For a year, what happened?
I just decided to come back after. Like, Chico was like cool. It was a totally different world. Like, I don't know. I don't think, in retrospect, I probably didn't like anticipate how difficult it was going to be that far from home. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot easier, but it was like, oh fuck, like. And at that time, my youngest brother was like kind of like, he was like 2, so I was or like 1.5. Yeah, and I was like really missing him and really missing like just the family because it was growing, and I felt like, damn, like I didn't see my I didn't see the transition from Aaron, who's right after me, go into being like a young adult, like into high school. Like he went from middle school to high school, and I wasn't there. And like I felt like I was missing like little milestones, and it just made me miss home a lot more. Yeah. And I wasn't really able to focus.
Did that make you become obviously more present now in all your?
Yeah, it definitely did. Honestly, it launched me into like a lot more family oriented, like just like bonding or like activities, like watching my younger brothers play soccer, or I remember going to watch Aaron play football a couple times, and that was tight because I taught him everything. Like he's balling out, and I was like, I taught him that one. I totally did. No, for real though. Like, just it was cool. It was cool watching like everyone grow, like coming back and watching everyone grow up. Like, it's like whoa. So,
and how long ago was that you've been home?
I mean, I only went to Chico for a year, and that was 2012 through 13.
Oh, okay. So it's been
or 13, 14 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, it was cool. I mean, I don't regret going.
Yeah.
It was like,
I learned a lot of things. Party experience, or what was it like?
See, that's the thing. Like, Chico is a party school, but like that's it. Like, there's nothing else. There's nothing else out there. It's a really small town. It's like, it's a nice town. It's very nice. It's very like green. Like, it's immersed in like the woods, kind of, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's a really nice campus. But once the partying runs out, it's like, damn.
What do I do?
What do I do? Like, you could go on hikes and stuff like that, but it's like, I was so used to like being able to go to the beach, and the beach is like 4 hours away from Chico. I went to the Bay a couple times. That was cool. San Francisco's really dope.
Yeah. But you did meet people there.
I met people that were cool. My friend Roger. Yeah. He's been on the show, on the Rodriguez show. I met Roger. I met him out there. He was like the homie's roommate. And then, it is interesting.
So college, and now the reason we met was because DJ ADM, who started the show with the Rodriguez show with me, he knew you because you worked at a restaurant together. Oh, Starbucks. Right?
Yeah, we worked at Starbucks together, and then we worked at a restaurant together.
Yeah, and when you switched to, because you've had a few jobs.
Yeah.
What do you take into consideration? Like, what is it? Just better money, better pay?
Pretty much. Like, I have to see a starting point, and then it's like, first of all, I don't want to go to work and hate work, so it's like, what can I enjoy doing? What's going to keep me busy to make time go by faster, or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, because I don't think you have to like work, but like, definitely making enough money and doing something that you don't like is better than making a lot of money that you do like for cheap.
It's true. Yeah. So then what do you, in the years that you've done the show, I know that you can change, like you change as a person in terms of like what you focus on. Like, photography became a focus, but has there been like a dream career for you, or anything that you've thought of before even the photography thing?
I don't know. Like, what do you mean dream?
Like, what do you aspire to do you have that, like, well, now that you are into photography and I feel like you want to make that a career, is that where you want to be headed, or where you head?
Most definitely. I would say like a dream career would be like a creative director, or like someone who's in charge of like creating whatever image the company is looking for, or like building an image for a company. Pretty much like that lead.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like photography would be one aspect of that, but you can just build so much on what you're already doing. Like,
true.
That's tight. I never thought of that, because
it's like you can like have a team, and it's like you're your team, and then you get hired, and your team gets hired for this certain thing, and you have a different branches that you could go through.
Yeah,
you have like the pick of the litter, pretty much. Because everyone here, everyone has their own startup clothing company, startup record label, startup anything, and if like you can match with artists and make music videos, or you can branch out and do like just like photography. You could do whatever, merch, launches, and all this cool shit that you could do.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like that's, and then what we're doing now is like the perfect thing.
It's like you already have like the web is there, so it's like the networking. It's just a matter of like right now it just sucks like the whole coronavirus is all over the place. Yeah, but I mean that would be something dope.
And in terms of like what you've learned so far using the camera, and I know that unfortunately because of the virus you're not working, or you don't have a job right now that you're not working. How do you feel? How comfortable do you feel in this position, like for your next step?
I feel like
if we took the coronavirus aspect out of it, because that's something that's going to be in everybody's way right now.
Yeah. I don't know how comfortable I feel. Yeah. Like, I feel like I need more experience, definitely. Yeah. Just like taking, like I know where I need to like continue to build. Mm-hmm. I just need to build a little bit more before it's like a big step. Yeah. Because I don't know, I just need more experience with models, or not specifically like models, but like just like people to direct and stuff, because that's a challenge in itself, and it's just like repetition and like getting comfortable in that situation, because sometimes it can be, well, in my experience, I felt sometimes like if I have a large gathering of people that I'm photographing, I'm like, fuck, I have to rein all these people in. I have to make sure that they're paying attention to me, like listening to what I need them to do. They all have to look perfect for this picture. Like if one person doesn't look perfect, we're gonna have to keep taking this goddamn picture. You know what I mean? Like, and
if you can't control the people, they can't control themselves, and it's just never gonna work.
Yeah. So it's like definitely getting comfortable in that aspect of it, not just like one person, or because one person's pretty easy. Like you can talk to them a little bit more directly. You get to know them a lot more personally. But
when it's a group, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. When it's a group, everyone's like, do this. And I'm like, hey, just don't do all that crazy shit.
Don't do all that crazy shit. If it was just as simple as people listening to that direction, just don't do all that crazy shit.
All that crazy shit you doing, don't.
People, first-time models, think about this when you're going into photo shoots. All that crazy shit you do.
Yeah, just like...
Drop it.
Don't drop your shoulders either, though.
It, but not the shoulders. And I feel like that's something that I can relate to you in that sense, because in the show it was very uncomfortable at first to tell people, hey, do this in the room sometimes. Yeah, like because it's hard to lead in that sense, to accept the fact that like me and you, we are, I never say, hey, do this. I think it's like we're equals in that sense. Yeah. But somebody has to like steer it for a second, and for me to point at Yael or something and be like, hey, do this. It was not easy at first. Now it's like, hey, just do it. Because like, what the fuck?
True. Yeah. Like, especially if like if you have an idea you like want to roll with, and you definitely need some assistance, and you have some assistance available, directing them like to where it's like, I'm like, this is, I don't know, the connection, and also like, I just need you to do it because like that's the way it's going to turn out, and it's going to look good, and like or whatever. To get that point across where it's like not personal. Yeah. Because it's like, it's never personal. It's like, I just have to get it. You know, like, I don't know. It's so weird to describe until you're in that position. I feel like you have to know, or you'll be able to know what we're talking about
in those like group project sense, where you're like, hey, these are my buddies, but right now we're trying to get this shit done. Yeah. So that's something that we circle back on the show is how do you feel right now about the show this year? Because 5 years we've been working on it, but I feel like this year has not been great for anybody. No.
It's been, for the show specifically, like we were building so much momentum, and we had like really big things coming, and then it just completely stopped. Yeah. And it's it's like, what? Yeah. But that happened to everybody in every industry, in every aspect. Like,
true.
Like, we were putting on a show, and I was really excited for it, and I had like big plans, and it took the wind out of my sails too. Like, personally, not just like as the show, but like I was like, damn.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. Now it's time to just we've had enough time to where it's like, fuck, we have to accept what fate has given us.
It's true. Yeah, we just gotta keep working at it, I guess.
Yeah, like, yeah.
All right, Carlos. So, like I like to do on this show, let's get deep. So what worries you in your life? What do you worry about? That's something I think about all the time, personally.
God damn, why?
I don't know.
What do I worry about? Obviously losing my loved ones.
Yeah.
I worry about like not being, I don't know, like, it's a weird question.
I know. I wrote that one specifically for you because I just wonder, like, what does he think about? Because because I feel like, and this is cheesy, but I'm going to tell you because this is what the show is about. Right? I feel like in terms of the show, we balance each other out because I'm the one that worries about stuff, and I just look to you and you're like, nah, it's good, and I'm like, all right. I don't know. I feel like
I don't know. Like, sometimes I feel like I just say, like, don't worry about something that, like, don't worry about things you can't control.
Yeah.
Because you have no control over that. So like your anxiety worrying about that, like, it doesn't help you.
Yeah.
It doesn't help you to worry about something you can't control.
Yeah.
So if you have control over something and you're worried about that, like, I mean, work through it, do your best to get through whatever you're working on or whatever, like, I don't know.
No,
but yeah, I mean, I worry about losing like my loved ones. I worry about, like, I don't know. I've been looking at my parents lately. I've been hanging around my parents a lot, and I'm like I'm worried about losing y'all. Like, y'all are like solid. Like, I don't know. Like,
Have you ever lost anybody in your life?
Lost a lot of people in my life.
I know that we talked about that. It happened one time you were recording, and your aunt, right? It was your aunt.
Yeah, my grandma's sister.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Okay. So my grandma has lost like all her siblings. Mm-hmm. So I've known all her siblings, and I've lost all them.
Yeah.
I've lost like aunts, other aunts. I lost my best friend when I was in 6th grade.
You did?
Yeah, that was tough.
I mean, can you talk about that?
Well, it was like really, I was on vacation. I was in the United States. I was in Mexico.
Yeah.
And it was Christmas, and like somebody broke into their house thinking it was somebody else's house. Fuck. And like shot him.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Is it in 6th grade too?
Yeah.
And they shot somebody that was in 6th grade? Like,
yeah, like it was a drive-by. Or no, wait, I don't remember if it was a drive-by or a home invasion.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Jeez, man.
It was tough.
Yeah.
And then, well, my grandpa died a couple of years ago. Oh, actually, last year he died, yeah.
Oh.
So that was tough.
Yeah. Fuck, man. Well, I'm sorry about your loss.
It's okay.
It's just, it's tough. Because I've only ever dealt with the one big one. They're obviously, grandparents, but that I'm not close to and stuff like that.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, I don't know, like, my grandpa is, like, it was expected. Yeah. So it was like, I saw it coming, and I pretty much prepared myself for that. But everyone else is pretty sudden, so it was like, like, you don't ever really see it coming unless they're sick, unless something, like, I've lost people to disease rather than like sudden events, except for obviously like my friend, and then one of my uncles died this year in like January.
Fuck.
And he died like through a hit and run, so it was like
out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it was just horrible because like I answered the door at 3 a.m. and they're like, looking for my grandma. She wasn't there. Thank God she wasn't there. But I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's her brother.
And I see now something that I didn't assume. I just had this idea of like you're the guy that like you want to gather with people as much as you can. Does it feel like not like with your friends, not like I want to have parties all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like in most of my friend circles, I'm the guy that's like, oh, let's do it together. And then in my group of like the guys that I went to high school with, I'm the one that has to do that. And I feel like you are the guy that does that. Were you that guy in your group, or is it just?
Oh yeah, I mean, I like hanging out with my friends, and it's always better to hang out with all your friends at once than one friend at a time.
But is it like you're the planner, or no?
No, I hate planning.
Yeah,
I like bringing the idea there, and then someone taking that next step to write that shit down or plan it out or something. Just because it's like I hate having to. I don't know. Sometimes I get stressed out. Like I hate planning for myself, like a birthday. Like I hate planning my birthday.
Oh yeah,
I fucking hate that shit, dude. I'm like, no, I don't want to do, like, fucking surprise me, bro. Like I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like I'm the guy that's like always planning for his birthday, but it is kind of like at a certain point you're just like, what do I do now? Yeah,
because the last time I planned something and I thought I had fucking the best plan, and my laptop fucking backstabbed me. Yeah. I was streaming the UFC fight and it fucking turned off right when the main event started. Damn. And it was, I mean, I'll give it to everyone. It was a Conor McGregor fight, and it was super hype, and it lasted 40 seconds.
Yeah.
But everyone watched on their phones like right as it happened. So it was like, all right.
Like, fuck. It worked out.
Yeah, but it sucked.
Yeah.
I was so pissed. I had to get drunk because I was so pissed. I opened the bottle of that I got for Christmas, and I was like, I'm drinking this shit.
So yeah, and then so the question that I always ask people on the show now, that's been 4 episodes, so always is it about an experience that you've had in your life that shaped your life view or like changed the way you look at things? And I think if you want to talk about, you know, the death in your family, I think we've talked about that. Is that what it is?
No.
Or is it something else?
I would say transitioning from being a student into like no longer being a student anymore.
Mm-hmm. Like an adult, right?
Yeah, like it's not even an adult, like because you still don't know a lot of shit when you're like 23 or like, yeah, like I feel like. Actually, I was like 21 when everything else was like shifting too, because I was in a relationship too that was like not really, I wouldn't call it like a horrible relationship. I think it was more toxic than anything.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like abusive or anything like that. But it just showed me like how when you're maturing through that age gap, how things change like that. Like nothing, it's like sand. Like you can't build a house on sand.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no foundation in that time because everything's changing, everything's moving so fast. You have like you're looking left and right, and like things are just whizzing by. You know what I mean? And sometimes I don't know. I would say like that time frame in life is really like stayed with me, and I feel like it's made me weary. I don't know, man. I'm tripping.
I feel like it's true though. I feel like if you're talking about, you know, what you learn from relationship or like the transition from like, hey, look, I'm not in school anymore. I'm trying to figure out my life.
Yeah, like it's you have to be selfish. I feel like that time in your life, you have to be selfish with that time.
Mm-hmm. You have to. You
like
have to
18,
explore.
19, 20, 21, 22, 23. You have to be selfish with that time because you're just beginning to live.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're just beginning to be like grow, and your wings are, you can fly, you can do anything.
Yeah.
And then you have to like play your cards right. You have to play everything right. Like not everything right, but you know, if things that you're really passionate for, like pursue it in that time. Things that you love, things that you never want to let go.
Mm-hmm.
keep those around and then shift your life into those core principles that you're gonna keep throughout your life. That way you can do what you love and be successful at what you do.
Very well said. Yeah, I get what you're saying. No, I understand. Like, it's like there's so many things that happen in those early 20s and when you're becoming a different person that you have to know, like, hey, value yourself.
Yeah, and learn from your mistakes. Like, learn from your mistakes, because you will make them, and you'll make them pretty often. Like, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
But, like, fuck, learn. At least learn from them. Yeah. The least you could do is learn. Don't just keep making the same mistakes.
Yeah.
Because there's, I don't know, man. It's beginning to be like a dog eat dog world out here.
Yeah.
Like, once you grow, like, no one's gonna care for you as much as you should care for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because your parents are gonna care for you. And they're
gonna care for you, but at
one point, at what point do you feel like, damn, I'm just a burden,
coasting on them?
Yeah, like.
Yeah, I feel like if I would have never gotten married, or I would have never had Carla there to show me like what independence is from your parents, I would have never been at the point where I am right now. Because it's like you have to see somebody that's like, it's possible for you to move out. Look, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that she worked at the same place I did, I was like, wait, she's doing something that I could do and I can live out. You know, and I don't think I would have ever taken that step if that wouldn't have happened.
For real.
So in that is the focus on like, hey, I need to figure out who I am.
I keep fucking putting this over
It's okay. The focus on who I am, or who trying to build who you are and who you want to be. Is that why I feel like it's never worried you to be in a relationship or not since I've known you. Is that part of it? Like, oh, like, hey, I want to date a person. Like, that doesn't seem to matter to you. Dating is
like, don't date people. I don't date people.
Yeah, or like you keep it low key where it's not a big deal.
Because sometimes it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying is you learn that from like, hey, look, everything in life changes, and
yeah, because it's like, I don't know, if I'm dating someone for a month, and I'm like easily, I don't know, it just has to be the right person to date more than that, like, or more than a couple months or more. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Like, it's like, they have to, you give them a couple weeks to like try to get to know them, but if they're not worth it, then why waste the energy at a certain point?
Yeah, because like, I mean, it's like you have to know people. There's layers, obviously, that you have to like, but like, do I want to keep unfolding this one person's layers and then be like, damn, this is it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I could see it before it's to that point.
Yeah.
If I don't see a future with someone, if I don't connect like that with someone, then it's like,
why waste your time?
Why am I going to waste my time and your time?
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I feel based on what we've said, you know, the way we talk on when we're doing the show, I feel like you're doing it the right way. You're a very reasonable dater in general. Like, hey, look, I'm not going to be tied. Like, if you keep priorities straight, I guess.
Yeah, and then like you have to set up boundaries for yourself. Like, I don't know, like people that get into toxic relationships, like they just don't see it. Yeah. Like they don't see the red flags.
Yeah. But and we all have to go through that, though.
You have to go through. You don't have to go through repeated
no.
toxic relationships.
To that one that shapes who, you know, you learn from it.
Yeah, like
everybody could tell you that it's bad, and you're not going to see it until you actually experience.
You have to like literally pick up the signals. Like, like, come on, guys.
Yeah,
there's a lot of signals.
So now something a little less serious. Is there anything that you've watched or listened to, like a movie that has impacted you in a certain way? Not just like, this is my favorite song of the week. It's just like,
oh shit,
deeper than that.
All right. One movie that really stays right now, like really stays in my mental. I just watched it.
Yeah.
It gave me it's a space movie. I like space movies. Like I like fucking Interstellar and like, what's the other space movies? There's like
Gravity.
No, the other one with the Mars guy with
I know what you're talking about.
Matt Damon. What's his name? What's it? The Martian?
The Martian. He's from the guy. He's from Mars. What is the name? Hey, I would have gotten that.
I like that one because, well, I think they're based off books, both of them.
Yeah.
Interstellar is pretty like accurate to like hypothetical space stuff, and I always was, I don't know, that was like always a subject that I really liked in school. And the movie Ad Astra with Brad Pitt. Yeah. I don't know. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. You can spoil it. It's fine.
I don't know. It's a lot to spoil, dude. It's like a 2-hour movie.
So then what just tell me.
So the movie itself, Brad Pitt is, there's a government agency, Spacecom. It's in the near future. They have colonized the moon. They have colonized Mars. There is multiple countries on the moon. There's multiple countries on Mars. Space travel, like they're looking for aliens. Spacecom is looking for aliens, but they're also doing other shit. But they're looking for aliens. And there's this one mission where Brad Pitt's dad, like 29 years in the past, goes to Neptune to look for aliens. Yeah. And the mission is lost. Like, it's like they can't get in contact with him. There's crazy shit. He's a hero because he went all the way out there, the farthest that any human has ever gone. So Brad Pitt grows up. He's like, I want to be like my dad. You know, is the best astronaut that there is in Spacecom. Psychological evaluations that they have to go through. He passes every single one. He's never lost any single psychological evaluation for any mission. Yeah. So they send him. They're like, you know what? What we're gonna do? We're gonna send him to Mars, and then from Mars. Oh no! So the mission in Neptune, before they send him to the mission, obviously there needs to be a mission. Yeah. There is gamma rays going out of Neptune or some shit. So it's like radiation that's gonna potentially destroy Earth. Yeah. And life on Earth and everything in the solar system. And they're like, fuck, we have to destroy this. Let's send Brad Pitt. Like, let's go send him to destroy it.
He's got this.
Yeah. And Brad Pitt's like, all right. So he's like going. And then he gets to the moon. And it's like, things are unraveling. Like, they're like, why are they sending Brad Pitt? People are like interacting with him. People that were close to his dad are interacting with him. And he's like, so he's like kind of suspicious, kind of like not sure what's going on. And on the moon, his the person that was going on the mission with him, he couldn't go. He like lost, like, because they were going from getting to the moon to another rocket across the moon. And space pirates came out, killed like the fucking generals. Traumatic event, basically. Yeah. They go to the launch. The guy who's supposed to go on the mission with him can't pass the psych eval test. Yeah. Brad Pitt can. So he's like, okay. He goes to Mars by himself. He gets to Mars. From the moon, there's a separate team that he joins that are on a separate mission, but they're going to give him a ride to Mars. So they're in transit, and then there's another satellite that is Norwegian or something, and they have gone off air for like 8 hours. Oh, shit. Which is like, okay, what's going on? Yeah. So they go and check on it, and then it's like a bio team that was looking at space, life, and whatever, I don't know. They got baboons on there, and the baboons go crazy, kill the whole team. What? And Brad Pitt and the captain of the team that he's on go in there, and then the captain dies, gets his face fucking mauled and shit. Oh, shit. And the space doors open, so like, whatever. Yeah. He's dead. And so then he has to go back to the ship with the dead captain. They fucking have a funeral, send him off to space so he could get picked up. And then who's the captain's under guy? The
commander? Or whatever, second in charge?
Second in charge has to become first in charge. And then when he's trying to land the fucking spaceship onto Mars, he can't land it. He's like freaking out. They're gonna die if he doesn't do it. If he doesn't land correctly, they're gonna die. Yeah. And he's like fucking up. He only has like 4 seconds to save it. Shit. And then Brad Pitt's like, fuck, override. And then he's like, and he just lands it. Oh, and then he goes to the captain, the now captain. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to tell Spacecom about that. Like, you know, I got your back. You know, I know you can land it. I know you're good. Let's go. And then Brad Pitt goes into the thing, and then the Mars base leader, she comes, she greets him, she talks to him, she like introduces herself, blah blah blah. She's like walking him to the next meeting room, and then the guy comes out and he's like, "Okay, General, you're not needed." She did like, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And then Brad Pitt's kind of like, "What the fuck?" Like, it's that top secret. And then basically they tell him like they have made contact with the ship that their father was on.
What?
His father was on. He's alive, and they want to make sure that they want to talk to him so that he can like be willing to get picked up before they go out. And he's like, he's alive. Like, he's like starts freaking out because he's been in space for at this point for like weeks, like a year maybe. Yeah. And he's just like freaking out. He's like, what the fuck? They put him in these rooms where it's like earth noises and like nature and shit. And like, and he's like, I miss the sun. Like he starts thinking about his wife. His wife is like, on Earth, and she's like,
with Brad Pitt's wife?
Yeah. She's just like,
what's going on?
What the fuck? Like she's like sending him video calls, and she's like, I think we're growing apart. Like obviously we're growing apart. Like, yeah. And then he's just like, fuck. And he's like, my dad's alive though, like 29 years. Yeah. And then he's like, they give him a pamphlet to read in the message, and it's like scripted as hell. And he's like, he doesn't like reading it. And then he has to read it like every 30 minutes or whatever. Yeah. And then he goes off script. So he goes off script, and they get pissed, and they're like, you know, you're going back to Earth, bro. Like he goes all the way to Mars. All that shit that happens to him. Yeah. And he goes, they're like, oh, you're going back to Earth. Like, I'm sorry. You're not, you didn't pass the psyche eval. And he's like, what the fuck? And he's like, they put him in the holding chamber for a bit. And he's just like, man, what the fuck? Like, I can pass the test. Like, he tries to take the test again, and doesn't allow him to breach like the mission objectives at all. He's like taken off of like the authorization of everything, and he's going back to Earth. And then the Mars general's like, she comes in, she talks to him, and she's like, oh, like they want you to go like to your dad, right? Like, and then he's like, yeah, like, and she's like, oh, so like you think he's a hero? And he's like, what do you mean I think he's a hero? He is a hero. Yeah. And she's like, you don't know? And he's like, what? Yeah. She shows him the video. So basically, my man's dad, who is Tommy Lee, he's like crazy. By the time they're in Neptune, like they barely get to Neptune, and he goes fucking nuts. Oh shit. Like I think they're getting to Neptune, and he goes nuts because part of the team that they miss his original team, they miss Earth. Yeah. They've never been that far. Yeah. And they've never been away from Earth that long. Oh shit. And they're tripping out. They're going like, and some of them are more peaceful, obviously, but like some of them are like, no, like, but they don't know that he's going crazy. He's been so obsessed with this mission of finding alien life that his obsession just like clouds his judgment, took over everything. He kills his whole team. What? Yeah, he killed his whole team. And then he started trying to build an antenna outside of the fucking spaceship that was going to contact aliens. But like, there's nothing. Yeah. There's like nothingness, complete, like no aliens. Yeah. And he's been out there for 29 years.
And he found nothing.
And then Brad Pitt is talking to the general on Mars, and she's like, both my parents are on that team that your dad killed. Oh shit. And she's like, this is like this is your burden now. Like, what are you gonna do? And then he's like, get me to the launch. Because the Mars mission team with the captain that landed the ship is still going to destroy the gamma rays. Yeah. So he sneaks into the launch. He goes, and he's like in the little chamber. He's about to come in. He's telling everyone on mission control, I'm in here. I'm the one who like just jumped into the ship. I'm not dangerous. I want to destroy the gamma rays. I want to continue the mission. and they go in. The other astronauts go in with guns to try to kill him.
Yeah.
To try to take him out because he's AWOL.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, like I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. And then they shoot, right, and they miss. Oh no, they're just pointing and they miss. But the anti-gravity shifted or something when they breached the atmosphere, and the girl just goes flying into the thing. She dies.
Yeah.
And then the other guy starts to try to stab him and stab his spacesuit. And then I think he has to stab him, like he has to kill him.
Shit.
And then the captain comes out and he's like, Captain, like I'm not trying to fight you or anything. And the captain shoots while the other guys are struggling. And it hits a fire extinguisher, contaminates all the oxygen. They all die, except for Brad Pitt because he has a spacesuit on. So then he has to go from Mars to Neptune, which is like a fucking 9-week trip or some shit. I don't even know, dude. Yeah. It takes forever to get there.
Yeah.
And then he's just thinking about his dad. His dad's like, the entire space comm, like they covered their shit. He's crazy. He killed the entire team. And he's like contemplating, like, what is he going to do? Like, is he going to try to rescue him?
Yeah.
Finally gets to Neptune, goes in, like, trying to talk to his dad. He goes into the ship. There's nuclear bomb that he has that he's going to destroy the ship with.
Oh, shit.
So he's like talking to his dad, and he's like, you know, like, I'm going to take you back. Like, you know, we're going to go back to Earth, and it's going to be great. You're still a hero. You're still a hero.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like, his dad's like, I failed. There's no aliens. Like, I fucking failed. I don't want to go back to Earth. Like, I know I don't want to live like that. And he's like, come on, Dad. Like, you know, you're going to see Mom and like all this stuff, right? And then he finally gets him out, finally gets him like tied up in his spacesuit, fucking goes. They're outside in space and they have to get to the ship. So like, it's like Neptune has rings. So his original ship, Brad Pitt's ship, can't go all the way in, so he had to like jump out in another little ship, and then
oh shit,
and then they have to go all the way back.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, so then they're going, and fucking his dad is like sees him, and then he's about to jump, and his dad jumps backwards.
Oh,
so he's like, let me go, like I don't want to go, I don't want to go to Earth, I don't want to go anywhere, just let me be. And he has to make the decision, like, fuck, do I just travel into Neptune with no spacesuit, or do I go with my dad, or do I like leave him? Yeah. And he has to like leave his dad, bro. And he's like, but like that thing, basically, you know, he gets out of the thing, he goes back home. But the whole thing about like, because space travel intrigued me so much, I'm like, fuck, maybe we'll find aliens in my lifetime. I doubt it. Highly doubt it. It's not going to happen. But I was like, dude, that's so sick. I want to go to space. But this movie made me realize something that I never even thought about like missing Earth. Yeah. Like missing sunshine on your skin like that. Like, I was like, whoa, like, whoa. Like if humans decide to move on from Earth and look for a planet that we can live on, if that were to ever happen, they need to take that into consideration, that people are going to go crazy. Yeah. Unless they somehow freeze people and make them sleep through space travel. Yeah, because that takes forever. And it takes so long. I didn't like a light year. Think about that. I think distance it takes for light to travel to that point. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're gonna have to because of how the world is, how global warming. I don't want to think about that shit. That makes me like that worries me. Yeah. Going back to that question, that worries me. Like, people are like, "Oh, we're killing the Earth." No, we're killing ourselves. The Earth is gonna survive all of this, unless an asteroid comes. Then we're all pretty fucked. But like, Mother Nature is just gonna come back. Yeah. Jeez. Because during like when the dinosaurs lived and stuff, like, or when before animals, when it was just plants, it was obviously a lot more CO2 in the air. Like, something shifted, and that's supposed to shift sometime soon. They've been saying for our whole lives. Sometime soon, Yellowstone's gonna erupt. Oh fuck. And then every day it's like sooner. Every day we're getting to that point. Because they say, like, if Yellowstone erupts, like, okay, like, yeah, 3 states are gonna get fucked, right? pretty bad. But like the whole world is also going to go into a winter. Like,
jeez,
the whole world.
Well, I guess let's just appreciate the time we got left.
Let's try to.
I think that's a good place to end it. Thank you for doing this, man. It was fun.
It was fun.
It was chill. Yeah, it's usually pretty intimidating to have a one-on-one conversation with you sometimes. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna say. Am I gonna keep up with him? But I'm glad we were able to do it. So yeah. By the way, tell them where they can find your photography page.
Oh, you can find me on Instagram at Photos by Carlos, with an underscore at the end.
Nice.
Photos in Spanish.
Photos. F, the letter F. I'll put it on the screen for a second.
It's like stylized too. Sorry.
And I do a charity every episode. You know, stuff you can donate to. And this one, because we talked about the environment and how we're all fucked, you can go to the Environmental Defense Fund at edf.org. Their work is to address the most urgent environmental challenges by targeting issues that affect people around the world. Working in partnership with others, we focus where we position help based on our strengths. So they're trying to get a clean economy, sustainable fishing globally, increased resilience in ecosystems like food and stuff, reduce exposure to pollution, and all that at edf.org. That's it, man.
That overfishing, that's bad.
Yeah, I mean, we're just killing our planet slowly, and we're gonna die because of it. Like you said, it'll be okay for that.
It's like gluttony. Like we're just using up all our resources until we die.
All right, well, let's just, like I said, let's enjoy the time.
Sorry, yeah,
let's end on a positive note, because there's people that are helpless right now, that feel like they are. But we're here for you, and thank you guys for listening. Keep it funky, keep it fresh, keep it sexy, and we'll see you next week. I say it here now too.
Oh.
It's my personal motto now too.
Oh.